It was a video talking about some of the food that I tried while I was in Hawaii, more specifically Maui. This main dish is a type of fish that I can't remember its name. It's very similar to mahi mahi, but it's not mahi mahi. But the thing that was very eye-opening for me was trying a clam, or is either a clam or a mussel, I can't remember, for the first time. And I made the mistake of chewing it. And I don't think I'll ever eat another clam, at least not voluntarily, unless pressured into it. The clam, when I chewed on it, was like one of them stress toys that you squeeze in your hand, and depending on which side has the most pressure, the ball will squeeze out of that gap in your hand. When I chewed on it in the same position in my mouth, it would basically squish back and forth from either side of my mouth, and it was not pleasant at all. This is a type of cobbler that I tried. I think it might have some rum in it. I'm mostly showing you this to brag about that I actually used the chopsticks to eat the dessert in completion, and used the spoon only to eat the ice cream. And this is my stepdad's dessert called Mushroom Forest. He hates mushrooms, but was reassured that it actually contained no mushrooms in it. And I don't know what it tasted like, but the whole entire thing was edible, and it was beautiful. And I wanted to show it to you. This is the Rum Boonton, and the best way to describe it is like a grape. It doesn't shoot juice in your mouth when you bite into it like a grape, but the texture is kind of grapish. The taste is a faint grape, but it's not something that I particularly enjoyed. I love grapes, but this particular thing wasn't my favorite. I wouldn't go out of my way to eat it again, but I would encourage you to try it. This is dragon fruit, completely different but yet similar to a watermelon. The texture is kind of like a watermelon. It's kind of sweet, but the taste is a little bit off to me. I don't much care for it, but I'm glad I tried it. So I'd encourage you to try it as well if you get the chance. This is a not so random pineapple growing in the hotel. Up until this point, I have never actually eaten a fresh pineapple. All of my pineapples I've ever eaten came out of a can, and I was pleasantly surprised about how good a pineapple could actually be. I liked pineapple, but it was awesome getting to eat fresh pineapple. Here's the buried pig, the stereotypical pig that makes his appearance at every luau. And at least these people are related to Jesus. I don't think this pig fed all of us. You might want to look up the Bible for the reference there. But yes, this is a relatively small pig, one pig, and it fed hundreds of people. So I don't know how many of us were there, but there was definitely more people there than that pig could feed. And we were all fed, among other things, like fish, chicken, rice, fruit. But that was, in my video, I referred to that as the decoy pig, because there had to be more than one pig to feed all of us. And I thought I'd share that with you. I was disappointed that I had no apple in the mouth, but hey, I guess originally Hawaiians didn't have apples. This is a Margherita Pizza, one of my favorite pizzas as of today, because I just now recently discovered it. When I first heard of Margherita Pizza, I thought it was like, the alcoholic drink, the margarita. But I realized they're spelled differently, but I couldn't get past that, so I never tried it. And boy, am I glad that I finally got around to trying it. I don't think there's a better pizza than the margarita style. This is a type of Chinese dumpling with pork. The first time I ate it, it was relatively okay. The second time I ate it, I really had to force myself to eat it. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't something that I particularly liked. This is another fish that I never had. I can't remember the name of it, but it came with a wine sauce, and I was very intimidated by the wine sauce. But a couple of people told me that the wine sauce didn't taste like straight wine, that I should try it, and I'll probably like it, and I have to agree with them. I did love it. Last time I tried wine, the drink, I wasn't a big fan of it, but this was actually pretty good. And the potatoes, or whatever it was, they described it as some kind of potato dish that were on the plate, were a little bit too strong to me. I didn't much care for them. But the fish itself with the sauce was awesome. Here is a single picture from a meat market that's inside of what I would describe as to be a convenience store. It was described to me to be like a Walgreens. It wasn't a pharmacy. It just had a lot of stuff that was very convenient, like food, both cooked and produce and meat market food, snacks, chips, drinks. They had souvenirs, alcohol. They had just about everything you could think of except for gasoline or fuel. But it was described to me to be like a Walgreens, but I'm going to describe it as a convenience store. But look at these cuts of fish, so fresh. Starting from left to right, you got salmon, tuna, and mahi. And I love salmon, love mahi. And for the longest time, I just didn't think of tuna as being an option. The only time I've ever came into contact with tuna was with my mom eating it from the pouch or can, and I just couldn't get past the smell. It didn't look good. I just recently tried tuna a few months ago. That was, the sought after cuts of tuna grilled, and it was amazing. I was like, wow, I can't believe this is the same fish. And then I finally tried tuna raw, or what I call raw, and you know what? It wasn't bad. So I have a new outlook on tuna. And I want to. This whole video is just kind of giving you a walkthrough of what I ate, what I tried at Maui, and the point of it is that if there's something you're unsure of, and you're not gonna, and it's not readily available to you in your local area, I would encourage you to try it. For the longest time, I was very afraid of trying new food, especially food cooked by my friends or parents of my friends, because I was afraid if I didn't like the food that they prepared to me, that they might find it offensive that I don't like it. And worse yet, if I tried it and I got sick, that would be very offensive to them. So as a kid, anytime I spent the night at a friend's house and stuff, if it wasn't something that was immediately recognizable to me, I didn't eat. And I didn't really gain a lot of weight as a kid because I wouldn't eat at friends' houses for the most part. And I would like to encourage you to try new foods. And, my parents had tried a pasta dish at the Italian restaurant, and they didn't like it, and they returned it and exchanged it for dessert because there was nothing else they were willing to try. A lot of times when you go on vacation to these fancy 5 or 4-star restaurants, the food is made to be extremely fancy. It's made to look the part. It's supposed to look like money, and it's supposed to look beautiful. And they put very expensive ingredients in it. And to a lot of us, especially in the South, it's like, well, if you just would have put Tony Satchers on this and fed it to us, we would have loved it. But you put all this extra stuff into it, and it's unedible. And I have some stories about that from other past trips abroad. But again, if it looks somewhat good, I encourage you to try it. If it doesn't look so good, I would encourage you to try it. If you can read the ingredients and see 2 out of 3 ingredients, 3 out of 5 ingredients that you recognize, I would encourage you to try it. So that's it. I wanted to leave you with this message that don't limit yourself on food because of unfamiliarity. So that's it. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.